My apologies, I forgot to delete the hour and a half long video I did for my stepdaughter. So, um, if I if I'm talking in figurative language, so if I said uh, she bowled me over with her French. Her French was so good it bowled me over. Is she literally bowling me over? Am I literally being knocked over? You know, by what she's saying. Um, I was uh, wounded by her comments. Am I literally being wounded? No, it's an emotional wounding, so it's figurative language. I'm using this language not in its most literal sense. So this will, you know, um, the this disease has punished. This thing in the text has punished Tunisia, has ravaged Tunisia. It's not literally punishing. It's not like this thing has said, I'm going to punish Tunisia. Tunisia, you've been naughty, bad country, bad little country, I'm going to punish you. So a lot of the language we use is figurative, okay? What's normally great about figurative language is it normally gives you in translation carte blanche, freedom to translate it how you want. So in other words, in the sense here of the word sacrifice, I sacrificed my career, I quit my career, I abandoned my career. So in other words, that is why some of the synonyms on the table, they will all have a link to the word sacrifice in one of its contexts. It might not be the main context, but it will be in one of its contexts. So be really mindful when you're looking words up using Crisco that you make sure that that's how you're going to do it. So my first choice would be try Crisco. See if you can find a similar word. Use Larousse, see if you can find the definition, but use the French. Just use the French dictionary. If you really struggle, then by all means go to the word reference or whatever language dictionary you use and have a look in your own language, but see how you get on. Okay, so in the text that we were doing then, so one more you will read down if you want to read it, and it says that this activity, whatever it was, had déclenché la chute du gouvernement. Okay, so this thing had déclenché the chute of the government. So first things first is chute is drop, downfall. We know that word probably because of a chute going down. So this thing had something because the downfall of the government. So when you go onto Crisco, you're looking for a word that will fill the gap. So this thing something the fall of the government. So already, before you even get to the French, your mind can come up with options here. This word brought on, triggered, made happen, created, caused, catalyzed, whatever kind of, this thing was a catalyst in, this thing was a cause of, this thing was so whatever you're doing with your English. So if we went to Crisco and we looked up the word I'm talking about, all of these are coming from the text which is in the article underneath. So is déclenché, okay? You have got faire naître, occasionner, susciter, engendrer, causer, mettre en œuvre, allumer, catalyser, commencer, décliquer, déchaîner, dans le lieu à mettre en branle, provoquer, créer, soulever. Some of those will make sense to you, some of them will make zero sense to you. You might get engender, yeah, you might get cause, allumer, light, turn on, déchaîner, unchain, provoke, you might read from that, créer, you might read from that, okay? So that's useful, but would we say the Crisco gave us a totally 100% clear version of what it means? Try looking at the antonyms, that's often helpful. So what's an antonym, an opposite word for déclencher? Arrêter. So this word we're looking at is the opposite of to stop something. So in other words, to make it happen. Another antonym is bloquer, to block. So what would the opposite of block be? Unblock, make happen, Lovely. If we went to Larousse and we looked up, c'est quoi le mot? What word was it? Déclencher. Then this is going to give us a definition. Okay, so we're playing between the two, but remaining in French. So we've got provoquer par l'intermédiaire d'un mécanisme la mise en marche d'un appareil d'un mécanisme. Provoquer brusquement une action. Yeah? L'apparition d'un phénomène entraîné, déterminé. So, déclencher un conflit as an example. So that literally means provoke by the intermediary of a mechanism, the putting into action, the working of a piece of apparatus, of some machinery. Provoke brusquely an action, the appearance of a phenomena, to bring about, to determine. Okay, and then the translation says to déclencher a conflict. The first one is literal. Yeah, so that's obviously saying something mechanical. So mechanically, is this thing mechanically bringing about the fall of the government? No. So that would be figurative language. So we ourselves in English have got a figurative equivalent. We've got this word triggered, because a trigger is obviously a mechanical thing. So what I'm saying is, when you look at Crisco, not all of your words are going to mean exactly the same thing, but it's really good to see which ones do. When you look at Larousse, not every definition line is going to mean exactly the same thing. Some are going to be figurative, some are going to be literal, or some are just going to be definitions that mean something different, okay? Lovely. While you're there, final thing, this takes a lot less time to talk about, is I'd like you to look at a third website, which is called monquotidien.fr, yeah, mydaily.fr. So I'll pop it underneath for you as well. Now, the reason I'd like you to read this is one of the best things you can do if you're studying is to read the same article 3 ways. We all love a 3-way. And what that means is that we are going to see how the same article is written in different language. That's the best thing for you. Often when you're translating, you feel so trapped and compelled. I can't say what I want to say, so I need to say it. So I'm stuck. Change the situation in your English. Change what you're trying to say, then translate this new version. So, I didn't get on with him. Ooh, there's a verb to get on with. I'm sure Luke's given it me. I think it's a reflexive verb. I didn't have a good relationship with him. He wasn't nice. We weren't friends. There's other ways of saying stuff. So it's really good for you to get into the habit of seeing more complex and less complex versions of the same story. So I will pop 3 versions of the article that we're talking about underneath, so that you can read these and see the difference. One of them is very complex, one of them is very artistic, one of them is very straightforward. And you will often, in the C1, C2 style exams in French, at l'Institut Français, or wherever you're going for your tests, need to compare 3 articles or 3 people talking about stuff. That's really common, okay? And for the Spanish, and for the German, etc., and the Italian. So that's something else to bear in mind. But monquotidien.fr is basically a website for teenagers, young people. So are teenagers stupid? No. Are young people stupid? No. Do they perhaps not have access to all of the grammar, but mainly complicated vocabulary that we would use in full publishing? They might not be 100% aware of what some of it all means. Or you might not. If you're a 13-year-old watching this video, then I'm talking to you as well. You may well do, and please don't think I'm being patronising. So if you think about it, like the difference between, say, the kids' news TV shows, like Newsround and things, if you want to YouTube that, if you're American, Newsround, it's like a kids' news channel, kids' news TV show, versus the main BBC, ITV, Sky, whatever, Channel 4 news, all right? So it's the same thing. So Mon Quotidien will be a teenager-style level of language. I don't mean slang, but it will be an easier level of language for modern stories, okay? You've already been given by me on another video I did, which was called 4 websites I really recommend, News in Slow French. And News in Slow French is in slow French, hence the title, but it is fairly standard French, okay? And it uses the maximum vocabulary. That has its place. That is useful. Don't ignore that. But sometimes we want to read the story smoothly and So I'm going to pop these 3 websites underneath. I'm going to pop a couple of the definition links underneath, although mainly you just need to type the word into each of them, into each of the search boxes. Try for a couple of weeks, See how you get on. Instead of looking words up in your own language dictionary, so English, French, German, French, Spanish, French, try and do it this way and see how you get on. And let me know underneath what you think about it. Okay? I will speak to you guys very soon.